Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. We're going to talk about Elkhorn. We're going to talk about Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Let's get into it. So Elkhorn is the dwarf fighter who is a member of Valor's Call, brought in by Strongheart. He's a member of Valor's Call, not the leader of Valor's Call. Elkhorn is a dwarf fighter who uses a sword and a shield. And he is old. So actually they make a point that of explaining that Elkhorn is kind of at the end of his lifespan and intends to not go out quietly, right? Like basically wants to leave it on the field, right? And that Strongheart has been encouraging him to retire, right? And that's pretty interesting. So we do, we explore a lot of different aspects of humanity and of course I think of identity and personhood. That's a better way to put it. So definitely Elkhorn is a person, right? And so we're exploring Elkhorn's personhood, right? And age is in the mix, right? Like, so there's a question of when should you shut it down, right? And Elkhorn's like never, like, which I think is really, really pretty awesome aspect of Elkhorn. Let's talk about Elkhorn's bona fides. Elkhorn is in the Dungeons & Dragons Saturday morning cartoon. Elkhorn is in XL1 Quest for the Heartland. Elkhorn is an action figure. And I own him. I own Elkhorn. I'm very fortunate. The Elkhorn I own is loose with all accessories. So I have all of the accessories. He is in perfect condition as far as, all his limbs still articulate. But he's not on the card. And he was a gift to me, so I was very pleased to receive him. He's pretty cool. He's a great little character. And he is shorter, like he's to scale to Strongheart, so like he is the size of a dwarf, and it's pretty amazing. He's like 1.5 inches tall. It's pretty cool. The action figure is pretty amazing, he's got a cool color set. And by the way they have him drawn in Wild Beyond the Witchlight is spot on to the action figure, which is really, really cool. I just love that aspect. I am a little, concerned with, it is amazing to me because I am coming from this perspective that true Dungeons & Dragons fans would be fans of the action figures. And that's not, I was shocked to find a lot of people don't really see, or no, not a lot of people. Some people don't see the value of action figures, right? Like to me, I remember when I was 7 years old, and I got my my Star Wars, action figures for Christmas, and action figures have been just a really beloved aspect. But like in the comments, some people are like, "That's just cheap plastic. Why would you be impressed or care at the age of 50 for action figures?" And I guess the answer is, I'm just so thrilled that there was this mass market toy that millions of people could play with, and as a very tangible talisman of nostalgia at this point. I don't see them as, just cheap pieces of classic. I see them as Americana. I see them as incredibly important to industry. I see them as jobs. Like, like Dungeons & Dragons made jobs, right? Like, there were literally hundreds, if not well over 1,000 people involved in the action figure line, right? To build those. And I'm just wonderfully thrilled that people were employed because of Dungeons & Dragons. And here's the issue, right? Like, nobody's going to be employed making action figures for Old School Essentials or any OSR game, right? And I really feel like that matters, and that's what those action figures represent, is a benefit. Like, there were people who made the Elkhorn action figure who didn't give two rats about Dungeons & Dragons, but whose families were tangibly benefited by Dungeons & Dragons. And their lives were quite literally enriched monetarily because Dungeons & Dragons had created the the Dungeons & Dragons Saturday morning cartoon, and this entire toy line existed, and it's just shocking to me that people are like, I'm an old school gamer, and I love old school games, but I could care less that some family got an extra ham on Thanksgiving, because of Dungeons & Dragons. Who cares, right? Does that have to do with me rolling my dice at the table? It's just it's shocking to me. It's shocking to me how small-minded some people still are about old school Dungeons & Dragons. Like, it's disconcerting, right, to me, right? Yeah, so that's my take there. But Elkhorn is a fantastic character. He is presented extremely well, and getting up in age, I'm 50, so it's very, I'm very happy to see that age is an aspect that is being explored through Wild Beyond the Witchlight. So Elkhorn, and by the way, Elkhorn is the last of the Valor's Call heroes. I've done a video for each and every one of them, and I'm super excited about that. Thank you for your patience going through these characters with me. I've just been incredibly thrilled with Wild Beyond the Witchlight because of League of Malevolence, because of Valor's Call, and thank you very much for taking that journey with me to look in detail at each character. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Elkhorn. Have you ever held one in your hand? One of the action figures. They're more common than almost Elkhorns are actually not uncommon. You can find them pretty easily, and they're much more accessible, right, than the rest. I'm not sure why Elkhorn would be less popular than like a lot of the other figures, but just from the market, he definitely is. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and on Elkhorn himself and on Valor's Call overall. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.